Real Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
Right.
Damn it. Yeah, so Dave got our publishing, had us go do that show, and it was big. It was nice. People loved it.
You guys opened, but your song was bigger than everybody on the tour,
Everybody
including
else.
Run DMC.
Yeah, so what it was, since they were coming to the Bay Area, Beastie Boys weren't on it.
Okay.
They needed to fill the slot. Normally, that's a buy-on position.
Okay.
A group can pay some money
Right.
and end up opening. We didn't have to pay. They invited us to continue the tour because we had the bigger song than anybody on the tour. But the payments don't reflect that.
Right.
Our record label, David Casey, he's not fighting with the production director on the tour.
Because you stayed on the tour.
We stayed on
They
it.
invited you to
One
the
of
tour.
the members got pulled to the side by the concert promoter and had him sign us for 15 more dates. So he didn't think that was a big deal. He
Right.
came back and tell us we ended up doing it. But they were paying us $2,500 a night, no room and board, and we had to drive and get ourselves to everywhere we went. Now, Houdini was making 20. LL was making 30. And I think Run DMC then was making maybe 60 or 50.
Right.
And they had their room and board. They had a big ass bus.
Right.
And we didn't have that. And so when we got back, everybody, after splitting out the cost, we all got about $2,000, $1,500. And that math just didn't
Didn't add
fit with
up.
me right.
Yeah.
So the next opportunity we get is to go play at Great America.
Okay.
So we go to that, and I'm talking with my manager, Natty Prep, and he's explaining to me what's going on. He's like, so your song is bigger than the group we're going to open for. I think we should ask for more money. Because
Okay.
all they want to do is pay us $1,000. We got
Okay.
5 people.
Okay.
Nobody else is singing, but they faking it and they dancing, playing fake instrument. We want it to look like a group. It's fun. So man, we tell them that we want $1,000. I tell them that we want $1,000 a piece because there's 5 of us. The other 4 guys in the band took my head off. Who you think you are? Demanding.
They tried to turn you to Eddie Kane?
Yeah! Why you doing that? And guess who the artist was?
Who?
Jermaine Jackson.
Oh, wow.
Let's get serious. Compared to Rumors, there is no comparison. We had the #1 song. Them niggas was mad, and they still mad to this day.
Really?
Yeah, they still got a chip on this, particularly Marcus, because
Wow.
it was his. He really wanted to do this,
Yeah.
but he couldn't really sing, and he didn't do
Okay.
music.
Okay.
So he thought together we could do it, and we did. But then when the powers that be, and it's time to make an album, and we're in the studio, and no one has any idea about melodies, song structure, or any song ideas.
Right.
I had 6.
Right.
They're just in my head. So the record company wants to cut, cost.
Right.
So they want to fire them. They want to just get rid of them. They're not really doing anything. So he didn't really have a way to do that, and he didn't want to, raise hell. But my guys were already looking at me like Eddie Kane, like you said. So they went to him on the under and say, hey, because he showed us artwork of what the album was going to be. It
Right.
was Michael Marshall and the Timex Social Club. They were hot. If Mike Marshall's name is on the front, we're all leaving. And he was like, okay, calm down. I'll change it. He didn't change it. He made it final, and then they all quit. He had them sign out, and they were gone.
Wow.
And they blame that on me. It's been a rough battle in this music business. But I wouldn't change it for nothing. It was all what I needed to be doing.
Right.
I can't imagine what kind of trouble I would have got in, bro, if I wasn't doing music.
It's crazy because, even with the single, you guys still nominated for a Soul Train Award
Yeah.
and American Music Award.
Yeah.
This is you living the life off, like, you know what I'm saying, off of like fucking single.
Yeah.
And then I watched the Soul Train performance again, like recently, and again last night, and I was looking at it like, here's a guy, he not flashy. He comes with like a bucket hat on,
Right.
or
An old bucket hat, too.
Old bucket hat, like and it's like, the music is so good.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
And actually, at one point, you was real smooth, and then it was like you got into it. But I was like, he's gigging like a Berkeley nigga.
Yeah.
On the national stage, like
Trying to put us on the map.
Yeah, I want people to go back and look at the way
Yeah.
you was dancing.
Yeah.
Like you was dancing like a Berkeley nigga, like not
Yeah.
no shit. Those was moves I seen
Yeah.
before, like
No.
right.
That's all I knew.
Yeah, like it was like you was true to, but you was killing it because the crowd got into it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and then I watched a couple of more live performances and I was like, this shit could have been something amazing, which
Yeah.
it really ultimately was
Yeah.
with Club Nouveau, right?
Mhm, yeah.
And so getting into that, right? Jay King not feeling what was going on and starting another group, right?
Yeah.
So their first single was Jealousy.
Right.
Same fucking tone, same everything,
Oh yeah,
right?
it's a copy of it.
And I'm listening to this song, right? And I'm listening to it like never before. This is a diss record.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he was hot.
It was geniusly put together
Yeah.
though. I'm gonna give him his props on that because to write lyrics so personal, but people didn't know.
Yeah.
It's not like
I
today.
didn't know for a long time.
Oh, really?
I didn't pick up on it for years because my thing was fuck them. I'm not even listening to it. So I heard it the one time, and then I would hear it on the radio.
Okay.
But I wasn't really paying attention.
I mean, this would be equivalent to what these rappers are doing now,
Yeah.
because like everything is more extreme, right?
Yes.
So this would be equivalent, and I'm like, he has the video. You guys' video was shot. Rumors was shot. Let me go back to Rumors too.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors was so big. When you big when they're doing parodies of a song.
Yes.
When they did Roaches.
Yeah.
Bobby Jimmy and the Crickets,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
had success.
Yes, that was a big cover.
That record, I don't know. He might have went damn near sold 200,000-300,000 off of
Man,
that.
it was big. He was the black version of Weird Al
Al.
Yankovic.
Yeah,
he
so-
had other ones.
Yeah, he had other ones, and
yeah.
they actually was spinning that one.
Yeah.
So Bobby Jimmy and the Critters. Let
And
me
the
get that
Critters,
correct.
yeah.
But I'm listening to this song, and there's like, I had the lyrics pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Damn, I've never even tripped off the lyrics.
this is crazy, right? So he says, I can't tell you why these things continue to happen, right? But some people get so jealous of the smallest of all things. I tried to help some friends
Yeah.
to help themselves to get their lives intact. They came out spreading rumors. Now I'm come out spreading facts.
Yeah.
That was bars.
Yeah, yeah.
He was giving you niggas bars.
Yeah. I wish I had recognized that from the beginning because I would have sent a response back.
You would have?
But hell yeah.
Because that wasn't, it was a thing with LL and them. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people was sending
would've sent the
shots.
response.
Run was sending shots at people.
And even if I didn't do it like that, the next record that I did would have had something to say about Jay King.
yeah.
Because the other people I was cool with. We went to school together, Grady Prater and I, and the
Okay.
girl was dating one of the guys in the Timex group when it was four of us.
Okay.
And then so we needed to fill space at the talent show and other shows that we were having early on before the song cracked. So I would do songs for her. We wrote a couple of songs. It wasn't cracking. So I was like, I can't do this with nobody else. 'Cause
He says, let me tell you how this started and where it all began. I guess I was a fool to try to help my broken social
friends.
my nigga. He is.
Yeah.
This is not like this is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like because I try to make it relatable to the young generation. Like, no, this shit ain't new. This shit been going
Right.
on, right?
It's not
It's
new
just
under the
that
sun.
y'all take shit too far.
Right. Yeah. No, we was never
Never gonna.
be shooting at
Right,
each other,
right,
trying to
right,
stab
right,
each other. None
right.
of that.
Like, and not,
At worst, it'd be a dance off or
it'll be a
something.
dance.
Yeah.
Come on, like Beat Street and shit was
Yeah.
real, man. Niggas get out there and dance it off on the
Big time,
linoleum.
big
You
time.
know what I'm saying? And then he said they told me if I help them, they'd be in debt for life. But when I turn my back to get support, they stab me with a knife. And then it goes into the hook. You know what I'm saying?
Jealousy.
But they came again. You came spreading rumors because you were so jealous. But this is, and I mean, for real, like this is Jay King singing. Or no,
It's the other
it's
singers,
the
but he
other
probably
singer, but
wrote
Jay
it.
King wrote the lyrics.
yeah.
Y'all didn't know the other singer.
No, I knew Grady Prater and I knew Valerie.
Okay, yeah, Valerie. She was dope too. I was looking at her on the video, like she was fly.
She was fine.
Yeah, she was
fine.
She was tight.
Little brown skinned one.
So, and you said you didn't pay attention at the time, though.
No, I wasn't paying attention to that. I tell you, the one that I did pay attention to was Why You Treat Me So Bad.
Why you treat me so bad?
Because
Because
that sounded like my thinking about you. So I
Right.
really kind of listened to that, and I was just like, wow. He's trying to tell the same kind of story that I'm telling, but he's used a different summation at the end. Instead of thinking about you, he's, why you treat me so bad?
And see, what I want people to understand, what the lesson is from this, is that we always have the Dr. Dre's in the studio. You always have the J. Kings, but you always have the Mike Marshalls and Ice Cubes.
Mm-hmm. For real.
Right? This
Yeah.
is the same story.
Yes.
This shit happens day after day in our culture, and we have to recognize and learn from it, because had y'all been able to work that out, y'all
it could have been
very young,
life-changing. Yeah.
very young. But here again in the Bay Area, what we don't have is the proper management, the proper teachers,
Yeah.
just people to put us down with shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they killed our sense of pride with drugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't really
And
get
that whole thing about the game.
the game.
The game is more than drugs and pimping. It's the whole thing of getting over.
Getting over.
The hustle, your wiggle. And to do that to some kids, he thought that was cool.
That was cool.
He
I
thought
mean,
that was-
everybody did it.
Yes.
Like, right? So even when you're looking at it like that, from that perspective, the hustle and wiggle, and we also talking about prime time crack.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
This y'all changing R&B.
Yeah.
Crack is hitting at the same time. It's probably Grammys being smoked in every
It
party
was
y'all at.
in the open back then.
Yeah.
I pull up to the dope spot with my music blasting, hop out. Where the rocks? What's up, my nigga? Like that. Like that.
Just the same way.
There was
niggas-
no shame in it at the time.
Ain't no shame in syrup. Ain't no shame in pills.
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
shame in
right.
this shit when these niggas go outside
Yes,
and die.
Yeah. But
You know,
that's too late then.
yeah, it's too late.
Yeah.
So they go on to have success. You know, Why You Treat Me So Bad was big. They did Lean on Me,
And situation number 9.
Situation Number 9. And as this is going, you still young, you having fun. You're not realizing the magnitude of this shit, I'm
Right.
sure. But as you see them succeeding and getting bigger, are you feeling like that's what we were? And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is what it turned out to be.
I was starting to feel it. That's when the crack habit started.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
feeling like I missed out.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that my guy, Charles Douglas, was stealing from me. Like I say, it was a thing. It was a thing. You got to wiggle. And, you know,
Okay.
turns out he was dying of cancer. Maybe he thought that he needed to do that to make a better way for his newborn that was born, and he knew he wasn't going to be here all the time. For
Okay.
But I didn't know that he was sick like that. All I did was when I saw that he was taking money, then I fired him. But before that, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's what was going on.
So as you start to, because this is what I say about as far as when it changed from powder to smoking, right? It was freebasing at 1st. And I watched the evolution of this as a very young kid. I watched the people fall off, right? Because you had to have paper to smoke coke from the beginning.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wasn't no poor motherfucker.
Those were the ballers who had that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you know, motherfuckers just toot they powder and be functional, but when this shit hit, just something about the chemistry of cooking that
Yeah.
cocaine into that rock changes shit, right?
Changed it just a little bit, but enough.
Enough,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like people never left the party.
Yeah.
That's just what happens until
Yeah.
you become all the way fucked up and you can know you fucked up and
Hit
doing
your
bad.
rock bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because once you start selling shit or doing shit you wouldn't do, stealing or doing
Yeah.
shit you like, and you might wake up one day and be like, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
I don't want to die doing this.
yeah.
I
So
don't want them
what
to
was
find
your
me.
what was your path?
Uh,
Because it was casual, right? I'm
yeah,
sure
it was
started off-
casual. It was fun. I had a little money, so that I was doing that, and the people who were around.
Okay.
Wanted to smoke Grimmy, so
Right.
I was supplying it. It was a thing. Early on, even my whole time smoking crack, I never ingested the amount that I bought. Either there were people with me who were helping me do it, or there were people with me stealing it.
I have to stop you right there. I have to stop you. Shout out to Kurt Sonato. It is on the payroll. We had this conversation yesterday because a friend had a situation where they got, was fentanyl shit going
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
right? Been casually doing this shit, right? But we had a conversation and I said, listen, man, there's never been a time where I seen motherfuckers get $50,000. This is in the 80s. That means
Yeah, that's a
it
lot of
might
money.
be $350 right
Yeah.
now, right? I seen a motherfucker have 50,000. It's no way, because I was a young mathematician.
Right.
I didn't got some rocks out and sold them before
Right.
just somebody had their bundle tucked because I thought I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I knew as a very small kid, it's impossible to smoke $50,000 worth of crack.
That's right.
What happens is you get nice.
Yeah.
You get loose.
Uh-huh.
You get irresponsible.
Yep.
So you might be in a rental car and somebody might break the mirror. You just go, fuck it, I'll pay for it. Let's just go fix it.
Yeah, or leave it here.
Or leave
They'll
it here.
come get
Fuck it.
When
and
they
we
send me
gonna
the
pay for it.
bill, all that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit like that. So that is, I mean, I'm just asking
No.
because I think that's the common experience. But is that how it started with
That's
you?
how it was with me. I had people around me all the time, and they were more into it than what I was.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
they'd be stealing it, they'd be taking it, then I have to share it. So I'm kind of blessed that was around because I probably would have died
Right.
with all the amount that I had purchased.
Right.
Yeah. So I got into that arena because once Club Nouveau came out and they had Jealousy, they started to play it in Berkeley.
Right.
People know J. King.
Right.
And they know me. So when they see me on the street, it's always, so what happened? What happened? And I didn't have an answer. And that's coming every day, all day. I'm getting tired of that. So I want to start to hide. I can't really hide nowhere. Everywhere I go in Berkeley, somebody knows me.
Know you.
So I started getting high with this dude because he had a place where I could go in and no one could see me come in, and then I could be there and nobody would be able to ask me any questions because I lived in my neighborhood. And just going around to my best friend's house is where all these niggas who are quote unquote jealous,
Right.
And they see that it's bothering me when they ask me. And
Right.
now it's a charge thing. Oh, that nigga Mike Measian and blew all his money. Blah blah blah. He let these niggas know, but that shit stings. It hurts.
It do.
So I started using to mask that pain. But then I had success in the 90s, but it was the same thing. So that made it worse because these were gangsters. So then that was fear.
Okay.
And then after I get scared and I don't do something later on when I'm thinking about it, that really pisses me off.
What year did you start with like Grammys?
87, 88.
So you hadn't hit no powder or nothing before
No,
that? So 87, 88, this is prime time. Just to paint a picture, this is, probably the end of Run DMC. This is EPMD. This is Boogie Down Productions.
Yeah.
This is, you know what I'm saying? It's a different era. NWA is going strong. I'm painting a picture for people to see, like, because I want to know when did it go from being fun and something y'all was just smoking Grammys to smoking crack or hitting a pipe, and it becoming a habit.
The Grammys went for a long time because the pipe had stigma to it.
So Grammys with cigarette or with weed?
With weed.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I started. I was doing it like that. And the weed, the crack is making you go up and the weed's making you go down.
People who smoke
That
Grammys with weed is
Yeah.
different, though.
Yeah.
They wasn't like Knox.
No.
Okay.
You could do that and party.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you wouldn't get lost until this part.
Were you looking on the ground? Yeah, right.
You wouldn't get lost because the
right,
weed got you.
Right.
But it would make me feel like I'm kind of floating.
Right,
A little
right.
unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really liking it. So I started doing it with tobacco.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that was better. But then because I didn't have the weed, I could go harder and go longer. So it got kind of deep around. This was still when I was at college. So this is 88.
See, that's what I mean. You in college and Grammys don't have you looking fucked up just like that. You still look like yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm pulling up in my new car that the record company bought me.
Right.
Not even tripping. Hopping out. Get up the next day and start it all over again. But I think after I got 5 on it where I felt like I didn't defend myself.
So it wasn't just, it was Grammys still all up until 94?
Yeah. Yeah, the pipe had a tag to it.
Yeah.
If you was doing the pipe, you was a fiend.
For real?
Yeah,
No,
so
I know exactly
I didn't
what you
want
mean.
that.
Right.
I was in denial.
Right.
I was already a fiend.
Right.
I was going at it every day.
Right.
But I wasn't going to use no pipe.
Right.
Man,
I know somebody like that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
I do.
it'll change, bro.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you got everything you own on top of that little pipe. It all fits on top of that little pipe. And you can smoke it all the way.
Damn.
Everything you own.
Yeah.
That's what they tell us in recovery.
Yeah.
They said so many things in recovery, bro, that made sense. If niggas in the hood had that information,
Right.
I think it could help pull them out of it. Because if you don't have the information and you just listening to your brain and your
Yeah,
body,
yeah.
I'm weak, man.
Yeah.
I can't stop it, bro. I'm sick this morning.
It's because to me, from what I saw in the West Coast, we see stories about the East Coast.
Yeah,
As far
yeah.
as what I saw, as far as the West Coast, Snowfall is the most accurate depiction
Yeah, I
I've
can't
ever
even watch
seen.
it. It was so real. Once I saw him step on that vial in the commercial, I was like, I can't watch this.
See that? That's
That'll
crazy.
take me
yeah.
right back there.
It'll take you there.
They had the music and the look
Just,
and the
they got
clothes.
everything that
yeah.
you might see the old school 80s LTD
Yes,
or a
all
Citation.
that.
Because I'm telling you, man, this shit makes, I was a young kid. Of course, I wasn't addicted, but the time,
That
like when
time.
I talked to Lil D,
Yeah.
I was there when he was doing
Yes.
this shit. So when I can tell him the shit that I saw and what I remember, it's
Yes.
like, God damn. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm looking at this shit like, what the fuck? I'm seeing professional athletes.
Yeah.
Some for the A's, some
Yeah.
for the Raiders. I don't want to say no names,
We
but they
saw it
all
all.
was doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
And the Raiders.
yes. So, when you when 5 on It came out, this is still like, this is 94, so you still Grammys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's walk through the process of I Got 5 on It, right? Because I told you as a DJ, here's what I'm mashing up. I'm mashing up Why You Treat. I'm mashing up Rumors, mashing up Jealousy. I'm mashing up Michael McDonald. This is not in order. And Why You Treat Me So Bad. 5 on It, all in one mix, and it makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah.
This whole shit right here is like, there could be a documentary not on just your life, but this particular situation.
Yeah.
This, like, J. King's perspective, CNH's perspective,
Yes.
Yuck Mouth's perspective.
I would
yours,
love to do that.
To just make one story.
Yeah.
Like,
See it from all the angles.
and those songs be put in one.
Yes.
Like that would be sick. But who recruits you for this song? Is it CNH?
no, it was and it was just a trip. CNH is from Berkeley.
Yes.
All my niggas I know who went to St. Mary's from Berkeley knew him. They're like, Mike, you know Chris.
Right.
You seen Chris. We all used to play basketball together. I was like, he must have don't look like he look now. He's like, well, he looked like Jesus now.
Right,
He didn't look
right,
like that
right,
back then, but
right.
that's him. I was like, really? No, Chris didn't do it. Tone Capone, Anthony Gilmore. We went to high school together. And now he took producing serious. When we had Rumors, he did the song with the, what do they call them? The Surf MCs. And they had this song where they sampled seagulls. And they were rapping around this seagull beat.
Okay.
And so it wasn't really our competition, but it was out around the same time. And we're all from
Is
Berkeley.
Tone from the North or Berkeley?
Yeah, he's from the same South, over by
Okay.
Bushwick Park.
Okay.
I'm from 62nd, which is
Okay.
off of Alcatraz, which is close to
Close, yeah.
Old Merritt College, where the Black Panthers were doing their thing at. Yeah, Tone was doing music for all the rappers. All the rappers. That's how I ran into Keek the Sneak.
Okay.
That's how I got my nickname, Mike Measy.
Okay.
Tone had me singing these hooks for these young rappers that were coming up, because Tone was making music that had melodies to it. Because at the time, What You Call 'Em was out too, and they were specializing in making beats that just had a bunch of noise in it. Public Enemy.
Okay.
But it
right,
was syncopated noise.
Bomb Squad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I needed it to be more singable. Now, it started with the producers out here doing covers of R&B songs for rappers.
Okay.
And then Tone started taking it to another level. He gets some jazz and then make a groove, and then I can sing some shit over it.
Okay.
And most of the time, somebody would come with an idea, or I would just end up sitting there with him writing. So now I'm getting high, and I need a way to pay for it.
Okay.
I've never had a job. Out of high school, I worked for the IRS, did 1 year, and then I headed up to Cal Poly.
Okay.
So I've never had a job. The music business has made it so that I can eat.
Okay.
Even when it was bad, it's
Yeah.
always been good.
Yeah.
So I was doing these hooks for $300 so that I could have some money. And so there was a bunch of them. And then Tone was working with another guy. No, not working with. Back then, if you were doing production, you needed some financial backing because
Okay.
you needed equipment.
Okay.
So Tony's financial backing was another guy we went to school with. His name was Spence.
Spence, right. Dollars and Spence.
Dollars and Spence. So they partnered up together. And so in that world that they were in, you know, okay, I hope I'm not speaking out of pocket, but I'm gonna tell you what I assume was going on, right? This ain't no indictment on anybody. So Tone's working with Spence. Spence is the man.
Right.
Whatever he demand at, he demand.
Right. Typical Oakland.
Yes.
It
there
has
you
to
go.
be a man.
So
Yeah.
the man's not going to be out there all night.
Right.
He got young runners.
Right.
All these young runners want to rap. And all of the bosses are putting money into their rapper to see if they can get one that's going to blow up. Because Frisco was trying to do their thing.
Typical Oakland, though.
You know what I mean?
D-boy contract.
Yes, D-boy contract.
Yeah.
So those two kids came over and they had that idea to use the music from Why You Treat Me So Bad. But now Tone knew my backstory, and that Why You Treat Me So Bad is a cover of Thinking About You, which is something that I wrote, and the city of Berkeley took on as a theme song for
Okay.
niggas locked up.
Right.
So when I heard that, they wanted to do that, and then Tone said, maybe we can do it a way where you're singing on, you can get publishing from it this time. We still didn't know how that worked, but
Right.
we knew that word was important. And I was like, okay, let's do it. What they want me to sing over? So they came with their little idea, and it's mostly the same as what you hear me sing. It's just the cadence and some of the words are a little different because they had so much they wanted to say in it. They wanted to say I got 5 on it, but then they wanted to explain something in between each time you say I got 5 on it, and the cadence wasn't right. So I just chopped some things down. So what you hear is what they wrote, and I'm
So this
I'm
is
singing it.
what this is the Looney Tunes.
This is the Loonies.
The Looney Tunes at the time,
Yeah.
what we know as the Loonies.
Yes, yeah.
The bigger group.
Yeah, Numb and Yuck.
So, just for clarification, because you guys had and let's clarify this: Dollars and Spence wasn't the Loonies.
No,
Yeah,
the Loon.
yeah.
See, that's what I mean. The D-boy contracts. The Tone was Spence's
Guy, right.
The Loonies was Chris Hicks.
Chris Hicks guy.
And Chris Hicks and Spence all dealt with a dude named Teddy Bohannon.
Ted Bohannon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we compete now.
Right.
But when we work together, I got Mike Measy.
Right.
And he can do. You know what he did, and
Right.
these kids is dope, and they using his song. So we want to make sure. And they even tell him the whole thing. We want to make sure he get his publishing because he didn't get it from Thinking About You, and you all know Thinking About. Oh, we know that.
Right.
My homie Locked Up told me that that's the theme song.
Right.
In there, blah 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 blah. So Chris Hicks and the Loonies are looking at me like a knot. I didn't know that Tone and Spence, because they knew what I was going through,
Right.
was looking at me like that
Right.
and would speak on it.
Right.
You don't speak on it with no youngsters like
Right.
that.
Right.
Them
right.
youngsters, they took to that, so they never took me serious. So it was just me singing on it,
Okay.
and then it was supposed to move on. But I was trying to fight for my place in it. And
So that we know, because this is what I like about No Vultures when we tell these stories. Like, there's everybody's side, and then there's the
Yes.
truth, right? And somewhere in the middle. But what the common truth is, I figure out when people telling their story to me and they're not arguing or nothing,
Yeah.
right? It's the same story,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So basically, what you're saying is Yuck wrote that, he had that written,
yes,
but you had to alter it
yes, to make it fit.
to make it fit.
Yes. I'm the professional.
You the professional.
They came in with a rough idea as a
Right.
professional. It's my job to fit it in there, syncopate it, and then do the melody to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it might have been with him more, I got 5 on it, put a 10 sack in it might have been something like that.
One
And
of
you
the
like,
lines I
that's too
remember-
many words.
One
right?
of the lines I remember that I had to change was, he said, I got 5 on it, no pretendo, just that endo, and then one more line. He only needed 2 for him to be able to, me to get back out to say I got 5 on it again. So I had to cut one of them and then make it make sense. So let's just grab your 4, let's get key. You did say that you wanted to get your 40
Right.
and get smashed. Let's make the first one about that.
Okay.
And then the next one we go into the other thing.
Okay.
Whatever I did, they liked it.
The reason that's important too, because that means you guys co-wrote it.
Yes.
He had all the words.
Yes.
But if anytime you have to alter or adjust,
Yes.
that's a writing situation,
Yes.
right? Which we got to learn in the Bay Area to do better business as far as that. No disrespect to Yuck Mouth Chris and none of that, because that's what it was then. You know, and even with their situation, like, that's what it was. It was D-boy contracts going on, and all niggas ate, like Easy E ate like that. They ate on him like that.
Yeah.
Jerry Heller. I mean,
Yeah.
and he wasn't a D-boy, but I mean, Suge was practically that
Yeah.
same thing.
Yep.
Every nigga you can name, like you said, Ted or
Yeah.
whoever, like
It's all based off of that,
it's
man.
all based off the same
in
thing.
any city. That's
In
how
any
you do it.
city,
Any
yes.
rapper's backing is
They're gonna have
be,
to go to somebody who.
because the white boys is not gonna give you no money.
No,
to
they're
go
not giving
rap.
them no money. They don't give a fuck. Like, they will probably now.
Later,
Which
yeah.
which they come in just
Yeah.
taking shit from a nigga now.
Yeah, exactly.
But so y'all do I Got 5 on it. I know you was at a bad time in your life, but did you ever even give it a thought? Because you are a man of faith, grew up in the church. Did you ever think, is this a joke you cracking on me, guy? Like, why am I back over J. King music? Or did you not even think this was gonna be big?
No, well, the whole thing about being over J. King's music, what I told him to do, I was like, since we replaying it, you know, we didn't sample it, I replayed it.
Okay.
Since we replaying it, we don't have to really give them that big of a percentage. We can also say that melody was mine originally, because this is before statute of limitations had played it.
Right,
I
right,
still had
right.
time to
Right.
argue that melody is mine.
It's yours.
I didn't have nobody to fight with me for that, so I was like, here's a chance where I can.
Right.
Okay, let's say that when we present it in, and then we can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
But my crew, they wilted when the boys came and was like, nah, this is our artist, and we just gonna pay him that. And I don't know how Tone negotiated his with them,
Right.
but maybe because he was the producer and they wanted him to do more,
Yeah.
they were willing to look at
So
him.
did you just say you played those keys over?
It's my melody. It's my song. Yes.
Wait,
You know Thinking About You, right?
thinking about you, right?
Woke one morning with tears in my eyes. Bing, doom, bing, doom. That's in there. Only thing that's different is the bass line. Because when I did the bass line, when I originally did my song, I moved away from the simple doom, ba-doom, doom, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. I moved away from it because I'm with a live band now. So my bass line guy was like, you want me to play this? Don't. I said, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it like that. I didn't know it was going to ever be a
shit.
thing where I needed to prove that was mine. That music and the story that they're telling is mine. And it's verified. Denny and Tommy said that. Because, see, when Jay
Damn.
came over with the contract, it was the same day that he brought Denny and Tommy to meet us and asked us, is there any more music we can work on? So I gave him a cassette tape of Thinking About You. And I told him, I said, the only thing different from this music I like to change is I'd like to have, like, this scary orchestrated beginning, right? Like some violins doing some crazy shit. And so that's how you ended up with that intro that they have. Filling up. Womp, womp, womp. All that was my idea. Now that bass line
Wow.
comes from Malcolm McLaren. Remember Buffalo Girls?
Yeah.
Do you remember the noise that used to be in that song? 3 buffalo girls go around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. You know it. In the background, it's going bub 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 bub.
Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. You fucking
That's
right.
where I got that from.
Damn.
Now, it didn't change melodically. It just kept going bub 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 bub. But I was like, okay, well, if I do bub 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 bub, maybe I should go bub 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 bub.
Wow.
That's my shit. And
You know, the person that put me down with this is Tone Capone.
Yeah.
Right? But he was telling me I need to interview Jay King.
Yeah.
I always knew your story, but I was like, I didn't know this part of this shit.
Yeah. There's. I don't know why he wouldn't tell you that story, but I'll tell you this. In my addiction, my anger was bad. So anytime I got to talk about what was going on, it was a rant, and they all were guilty. So yeah, I burned my bridge a little bit with it.
I heard you say at one time that you was down bad, so bad and so angry when you was getting high that you really was strapped, and if you
I
would have
went
saw
looking for
him, it
Chris.
would have been bad.
I wasn't looking for Chris.
That's crazy.
I had
like-
somebody who was dominating Chris in his neighborhood. As a
Okay.
grown man.
Okay.
And this is a dude who I know from my community in Berkeley.
Okay.
And he told me where he lived.
Mm,
And yeah, I was mad, bro.
yeah.
I was mad.
That's crazy because you don't even come off as that kind of guy, but it's
But
like
I had nothing else to
how
lose.
many times can you get fucked? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And how many times can you? And like I said again, no knock to nobody in these situations, but it's the game we learn to play on each other.
Yeah.
It's no.
And again, when the first question you asked me about my upbringing as a kid, no one showed me any of that.
Right.
The first time I socked the nigga was just out of pure anger because
Anger.
he had did something to a shirt that one of my dudes from church let me wear. He had spilled something on it, and I just flashed.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I could do it.
Right.
I didn't even know that.
Right.
Because all I knew is if you hit somebody and you get in trouble for it, your mom hit harder than all these niggas.
Exactly.
And I'm
exactly.
cool on that.
Damn, that is.
I'm cool.
That's
on that.
so
She
crazy.
has big hands too, my nigga.
Stay on blue.
They all blue.
I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair run like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to Lil'